I'm probably not unlike many of you. I get really jacked up when I see a story about somebody who overcomes adversity and is able to beat the odds. Somebody who shows a lot of valor and honor and courage. And sometimes there's images that I just can't get out of my mind. I see it and I see it and I see it almost every moment of every day. And somehow God comes alive in those stories. When you see that amazing collision of God's Spirit and the human spirit coming together in somebody who just lets us know what's important and what's not. One of the shows I like the most is the ESPYs Award. Not sure if any of you watched it last week. My gosh, if you want to cry, just and you can go online and watch it again. It's incredible. But they honored this one man who was born with no arms and no legs. All he has is his torso, his body. And I know how I complain when I sprain my ankle or when I get a little bit stiff and can't run very fast. Well, this guy, he got the award, and he said, the next time you feel sorry for yourself, the next time you complain about all the stuff you can't do, just look at me. Because life is not about what you can't do. Life is about what you can do. And he said, I can't play football, but I sure can coach. And there are some pictures of him talking to his teammates and the way it's just very, very inspiring. Just watching him in his remote-controlled wheelchair, he operates it with his shoulder. He diagrams football plays with a stick hanging out of his mouth. He explodes with courage and grace. And I guess I don't like having to use somebody else's disability to inspire me to be better. But somehow, some way, without even trying, he's a rabbi and a teacher about what life is all about. You know, I like taking walks out back, and the other day I was walking out back, and we have a big tree back there, and the ashes of two of our members from long ago are buried there. It's Mario and Shirley Fazio, and if you've been around here a long time, maybe you remember them. In fact, you know, Mario, this has nothing to do with anything, but I don't have that much to say anyway. Mario loved to usher. And when Mario ushered, he would show up in a blue suit, in a perfectly unwrinkled shirt, and a tie. And so Mario came to me and said, you know, Don, I got an idea. I don't know if I should go to the men's club and ask them or go to the church council, but I do think we should have a rule that when you usher, you got to wear a shirt and tie. And I said, Mario, I hear what you're saying, but that ain't gonna fly here. I said, Mario, you're welcome to wear a shirt and tie. You look great in a shirt and tie. And if you want to pick someone to usher with that'll wear a shirt and tie, that's fine. But you can't make that rule because it ain't gonna work because I don't even own a tie. Well, they have a son named Ron. And Ron lives in Texas. He's exactly my age, born on the same day, a lot better looking, but exactly the same age. And a couple of weeks ago, he went in for a routine colonoscopy. And a lot of us know what that's like. And he went in, and the doctor, who's a good friend of theirs and been their doctor for 13, 15 years, said, come in early in the morning, we'll get it done. You'll be back doing yard work by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, during his routine procedure, his colon was punctured. And he had to have emergency surgery. He has an open wound, hospital for 2 weeks, has to go home with a wound vac. Some of you know what that's like. It's going to take a good month for him to recover. And so the other day, his wife calls me. And he said, Don, I know we don't see each other very often, but you would be so proud of your buddy. His patience and his grace are unbelievable. And then I talked to Ron, and he said, the doctor feels so bad. The doctor came in, they're friends, and said, I've done this hundreds of times. I'm so sorry for what I put you through. And Ron responds, says, you're a doctor. You're also a human being. And you are not perfect. And most of all, you're my friend. And when I need another colonoscopy in about 3 to 5 years, I'm going to go back to you. Because none of us is perfect. You know, it's so easy in our world to play the blame game. Sometimes at work we play that game. Sometimes in our family we play the game. We can even do it in the church because we don't want anything to be our fault. But the gift of being able to accept your own humanity and the humanity of somebody else, to look life right smack dab in the face with courage and grace and a sense of forgiveness, that is an incredible gift. You know, the gospel lesson for this morning is pretty incredible. You know, Jesus is constantly tested. It's like they want to find fault with him because it's almost like Jesus is too nice to be true. And so this guy comes up to Jesus and says, what do I have to do to inherit eternal life? What do I got to do? And Jesus said, it's written right there in the law. He said, love your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your spirit and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And the guy said, oh, that's what I do. And he said, fine. Oh, and he said, but by the way, who's my neighbor? And then Jesus tells the story. There's a guy along the side of the road, and the two most religious people in town walk by, and they're too busy to stop. But the Samaritan, the outcast, the non-believer, the man or woman who comes to church at Easter and Christmas and never in between, the person who doesn't seem to believe in God by what he says, but simply by what they do, he's the one that stops and ministers to the guy along the side of the road. What do you have to do to get eternal life? Do you have to believe in Jesus? Jesus never asked people to worship him. He talked about God. What do you have to do to eternal life? Do we have to be Christian? Well, when Jesus walked this earth, Christians weren't even invented yet. They were invented later. Jesus' ministry, Jesus' word, was about a religion born of kindness, a religion laced with mercy, a religion grounded in the generosity of the Spirit. And probably now more than ever, I think about the Bible. I look back, like maybe you do too, I look back and reflect on my own personal journey through this world. I try to imagine what it was like for Jesus as he tried to open people's eyes and hearts, and yet the people that should have been closest to him are always trying to have him make a mistake. Well, I realize after all these years, I don't know much, and you know I don't know much, but I do know this. Religion is about the walk. And if you don't have legs, it's about the way you handle your wheelchair. Religion is about the stranger along the side of the road. It's about a proud usher who wears a shirt and a tie. Religion is all of us bound together by a God who's always going to be there when we need to bounce back. Amen. If you're able to, please rise for the creed. It's on page 105.